The multiplication property of equality. Objective number 1. Use the multiplication property of equality. Multiplication property of equality. If A, B, and C, where C does not equal to 0, represent real numbers, then A equal B and A times C equal B times C are equivalent equation. Example 1. Solve. Part A. 7x equals 70. First of all, the multiplication property of equality says that we can either multiply both sides of this equation by 1/7, or we can divide both sides by 7. In this case, we're going to work it both ways, and then you can choose which way you prefer. Part A. 7x equals 70. We're going to initially multiply both sides by 1/7. The idea here is to make sure that the variable term contains the coefficient 1. So we'll multiply both sides of the equation by 1/7 and obtain the equation x equals 10, which is the solution. An alternate way to solve that same equation is to divide both sides of the equation by 7. Most people prefer to say it this way. Dividing both sides of the equation by 7, we get the same solution, x equals 10. Part B. Minus 8x equals 22. Once again, you have an option of multiplying both sides of the equation by the reciprocal of minus 8, which is minus 1 over 8, or dividing both sides of the equation by minus 8. If you're multiplying both sides by negative 1/8, you get the solution x equals minus 22 over 8, which has to be simplified or reduced to minus 11 over 4. Similarly, minus 8x equals 22, and if we divide both sides by minus 8, we get the same solution, which is minus 11 over 4. C. 12p equals minus 69. Again, we can multiply both sides by 1/12 and get minus 69 over 12, which reduces to minus 23 over 4, or we can divide both sides of the equation by 12, again obtaining the same solution, minus 23 over 4. D. Minus 0.7a equals minus 5.04. In this case, it's most advantageous to divide both sides by minus 0.7. In doing so, we get a equals positive 7.2, and the reason for that is on the right side we're dividing a negative number by a negative number, which gives us a positive number, and using the calculator you can very quickly get 7.2 for the solution. E, we have the equation x divided by 6 equals minus 7. In this case, we want to use the multiplication property in the manner that we're multiplying both sides of the equation by 6. Doing that, the 6's cancel on the left side, so we just obtain x on the left side, and the solution is therefore found on the right side by multiplying 6 times minus 7, which gives us minus 42. F. Minus 7 over 8x equals minus 21. In this particular case, the variable term x is being multiplied by a fraction. So the best way to solve this one is to multiply both sides of this equation by the reciprocal of the coefficient multiplied onto x. So we get the reciprocal of minus 7 over 8 to be minus 8 over 7, and then multiply both sides of this equation by minus 8 over 7. Simplifying both the left and right member, we get x equals positive 24. G. 2/3 times k equals minus 18. Very similar to the last part, in which we get the reciprocal of 2/3 being 3 over 2, multiply both sides of this equation by 3 over 2, and then simplifying we get k is equal to 3 times minus 9, and therefore k equals minus 27 as a solution. H. Minus 8 equals 2. Again, we can treat this as minus 1 times x, but the idea is to end up with positive x. So the simplest way to get to that point is either to multiply both sides of this equation by -1 or divide both sides by -1. In this case, I decided to multiply both sides by -1. So we get positive x, which is always required on the left side, equal to -2. I. In a similar manner as the previous example, we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by -1, because the only thing we need to do is to change the sign of the left member. So we'll multiply both sides by -1, and therefore b is equal to positive 15. J. In this case, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 3, because we're trying to get 1x on the left side. And when we divide both sides by 3, we get x on the left side. But 0 divided by 3 is 0. So the solution is x equal to 0.